he could chip above. As long as Dual Kevin makes him block, he could get the win easily. Right now, let's see if ChrisG's gonna allow it though. There it is. There it is. He got it.
Flips him. All these bullets. Dual Kevin. Oh, we have a Kevin chant in the crowd right now.
No Phoenix. No Phoenix. Phoenix is
You do it later.
he's trying to be way too honorable. He should not be asking for Phoenix.
This all happened after the tournament was over. This was on a Sunday night. The salty sweets that people used to do back then, Fchamp had one himself, and you know, Fchamp actually won that tournament. So everyone went to his room, all the Marvel players gathered up. Money matches were happening here. There was like 4 kinds of setups, and he was asking anybody who wants the money match, by all means, just jump in. I was only a 19-year-old college student, so I didn't want to do it actually, but my friend, shout out to Almighty LPZ from Detroit, he was like, I'll spot you the 20. And I felt bad because I didn't want to take it still, but he insisted, so I did it, and that's when the money match happened and everything. I had set strategy against his team. Like I said, he was one of my favorite players, so I feel like I understand how to break down his team, and he was playing Dormammu at that, not Phoenix. I was doing my zoning, my mixes. He had a Deadpool player in NorCal where he lived that he did train up against. But I remember when I would watch those matches and I was like, I feel like you could do this, and that differently as Deadpool. So I went to the lab. That's what made me lab out against his team. I was playing slippery here and there, calling my jam session assist properly. There was a lot of anti-airs involved, a lot of uses of my grenade for zoning. And that's what gave me the victory over him. Word got out around that, a 19-year-old kid just beat Fchamp after just winning the big final round major. People would bring it up even on the stream. You know, I could see why that could get annoying. He was talking to the stream chatter and was like, hey, if your boy wants to play me for 1K, then he let's do it, you know? So then we exchanged words a little bit on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, do you want to play for 1K? And he's like, yeah, let's just do it. So we set it up for Evo that year. Even though I'm a 19-year-old kid, I worked at McDonald's, I was a college student, I wasn't getting that kind of money like that. I remember one of my TOs from my local was like, hey, if you win 3 locals in a row, it was a monthly, I'll spot you this amount. And it's funny because I remember the third one I almost lost. I would usually always win, but the third one I almost lost the entire thing. And he might have done it anyways, to be real, but I ended up winning the thing, and he gave me the little extra cash, the money match champ. And he was like, yo, go beat his ass. And I was like, all right, I appreciate it. So that's how it came to be.
Yeah, we're good.
Champ is the type of guy, you've seen his other sets, the long sets that he has. He trash talks you while he does it.
Just ask the crowd. This is my game!
He went up to me and he went up to my friends who were on my side, right? He was like, yo, I'm not gonna trash talk. I really respect Dual Kevin, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna actually appreciate that he said that. I'm still a kid, so I'm not used to that kind of environment, so it was sick to hear him say that. The set kept going back and forth at like the first 15 games. It was like a 3-2. I had a 5-4 lead. It went to 8-8 at one point, and then he started to pick up and got a little bit of a streak, which at that point, towards the end, any kind of streak you have matters. My team is actually not the greatest against Phoenix, so I had to rely like on the Hawkeye, Gimlet, the super snipes. He was gonna get desperate with teleport, and I did like air heavy into super to catch him and punish him, and I won that game. When I see him call his assist, I'll call mine right after, so I can put myself in an advantageous situation into neutral. That's what led to the back and forth in our set overall. And some people didn't think I was gonna get 5 games because, again, he was known to be a money match king, right? I trusted myself, I trusted my play. The months leading up, practicing for this match, I knew I could win or at least make it close, and I did. After the match happened, we hugged it out. He gave me props once again, and this was an hotel room actually. It was like he had a big projector. He had our setup, a big projector, and anybody in the room could just watch. And they're like all the top Marvel players were watching. So he gave me the big props. I gave him the money. The room was all kinds of giving me props too. Like, I remember Apology Man was there. I believe Ray Ray was there. Midwest was actually a joke to them. So hearing a player like me come out from Midwest, a 19-year-old kid at that, actually pop off, exceed expectations. It was a good showing overall. Fchamp, being one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player of all time, helped me develop my skills as a fighting game player to this day because I watched his streams, his 16-hour streams that I used to do way back when practicing Marvel. I still have those skills because of him. So me being able to test my own skills against him and actually be able to use it properly to get some dubs against him when there's money on the line and surprise everybody else for it. It really proved to myself that it all worked. It all came in full circle, you know? Like I got the dub, I got the skills now, and just want to keep going with it.
Oh my God.
We're here in the present. Dual Kevin has definitely stepped up. And when I see Kevin KT, I told him, listen, man, if you're going to ride out with your team, ride out with your team, but you're going to have to be optimal matchups.
I feel like when people hear Marvel, they think of like wildness, craziness, which when you just look at the screen, especially if you're not familiar with Marvel, you see people moving around up and down, left and right, assist call here, assist call there. It may look like slap, but there's still some methodical play to it. Where I place myself on the screen matters, so I have to be properly spaced wherever I want to put myself. I don't actually move the fastest. I can't even blink like most top players can. I just wave dash and I abuse Deadpool's double jump while still being able to call assists. Any kind of position I'm in and any kind of assist call I make it matter. Some people can get a little too flow with their assist call or the movement. I try to avoid that and see what's the most optimal position I can put myself in. So a little bit slippery, not the most movement heavy, properly spaced wherever I am on the screen.
Can I get a little more piercing bolts? You need to clear those fireballs. I don't see. There we go. It's about that time.
Very smart.
If you know about Marvel 3, Morgan and Zero, they're like top 2. I almost lost in pools to Super Noon as he had a happy birthday when it was 2-2. It would have killed both my characters to win the game. Dropped it. I make the comeback. I win 3-2. And then my small break against the Viper player happens. And then endless Morgan 0, Morgan 0, Morgan 0. Then J Rosa's Morgan. And then ChrisG's Morgan. It was a stressful run. I mean, I wasn't even supposed to be there, but the Marvel gods were on my side, so it was good for me.
This is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Look at all the beautiful people.
Beautiful people.
ChrisG, I mean, he was the guy who won it all. He's the GOAT of Marvel 3 for a reason. He kept winning all kinds of tournaments. And that year, we played each other like 3 times, I believe, in tournament. One of them was in grand finals when I was the winner's side, and he 6-0'd me. They remember that set specifically and thinking like, oh man, am I gonna have another chance to do anything? I had some new ideas, new strategies developed, and I put those strategies into test. I could take the air grab against Morgan if there was no missiles on the screen for her to get a combo, for instance. I was being more aware of my push blocks in the air if I block a fireball, so I don't happen to miss time of push block and get juggled by air fireballs. But I remember as time went on, people started to realize how great my defense was. And I actually took pride in my defense. I labbed so many mix-up situations. We were actually defending a lot. We were breaking all kinds of TSCs, all kinds of mix-ups that we did on each other. We were defending that nobody else could defend. It was a lot of games that went to timeout actually too because of that. It wasn't just because we had slow play styles, we just kept defending properly.
Dual Kevin makes it. He makes it to top 8 winners.
To top 8 Mandalay Bay. ChrisG's gonna go into losers, and the crowd is ecstatic.
So I know ChrisG right now is tasting revenge right now, but let's see if Dual Kevin could keep that momentum against ChrisG.
It's interesting, like I had some strategies developed for him when I would play Medieval, and I feel like I kind of steered away from that strategy because I feel like there were some things, like Hawkeye Point actually was the biggest strategy changer. Never do. I don't do it except for him. I still did it even in losers, but where I placed myself on the screen was different than I did in winners, and I guess he just caught on and he killed my Hawkeye so fast almost every time. Hawkeye almost didn't matter.
Dual Kevin doing all the right things right now to stay alive. Oh, nice. He slide to avoid, but he still gets caught. And ChrisG advances to the losers finals, but yo, for real.
It is what it is. It was still a great showing for me, a great 4th placing. And I was rooting for him as soon as I lost, so it was big respect to him. And he gave me the respect too, even after the tournament. When I played him on Evo, there were so many times leading up to it where I just kept losing and losing. And I had to develop strategy just for this one guy because so many players I could beat all around the world, but this one guy kept stopping me. Finally get the one guy to make top 8 Evo. This is actually the first Evo that was at Mandalay. Like I didn't know how to exactly react to this. Like I was just, oh, my plan worked. Okay, cool. It's still early on for me, and it meant a lot that it didn't affect me like that much. Like I was so locked in that I was able to make a top 8 at Evo. I could say I am a top 8 placer at Marvel for Evo.
All right, in 4th place, NBC Duel Kevin!
I want everyone in the arena
Yeah, guys, seriously.
to make some noise when Duel Kevin comes out, because he is the only non-Japanese player, and more importantly, the only American player in top 8.
Get
But let's
behind your
go
boy.
into the ring to introduce Ryusei first.
Yeah, so I played a little bit of Street Fighter 5 when it first came out in 2016, but I was still more of a Marvel player, so I didn't really want to play with Shoto. And I saw Rashid, he's like, oh, he's kind of different, you know? The normals, I guess like how you would poke would be like a Shoto, but the fireball is not your traditional fireball. Mixers could be used for pressure differently. So I was like, okay, let me play with this character.
Oh, he tried it again! Duel Kevin closes it with a medium kick.
It was an interesting run. Made it out of pools, beating John Ding, Mug, 801 Strider, barely clutching it against them. And then I had to play Daigo for top 8 in winners. Still to this day, I'm also one of my favorite players. I told myself like, yo, he's still human. So whatever pressure kind of mix-ups I would do on any other player, I'm gonna still do it against him. I was doing pretty well for myself. I believe I got to last game. He adapted pretty well though. He got a lot of overheads on me and I was not blocking the overheads. So he got a great victory on me. And then I played Momochi for top 8. I wanted to prove to myself that I was capable of going to Street Fighter, beating the internationals who were like amazing at fighting games since way back. You know, I had to beat one of them to show like, yo, I can be a Street Fighter player as well. So I beat Momochi to make top 8, a 2-0 victory.
The counter hit, not enough to kill, but Duel Kevin is right there in the roundhouse and chase the backdash. Duel Kevin has made it to top 8 on loser's side.
I shocked myself. I was very happy about it. I actually cried once I made top 8 because like, oh, I finally did it. I proved to myself I'm not just a Marvel player. I'm a legitimate fighting game player. So yeah, that top 8, making that top 8 meant a lot.
That's not loud enough, guys. Come on. Where's the music? No, this is all set up. What's this?
I owe it to Marvel, and I talked about, you know, Fchamp and how much I learned from him and everything. Maybe some people don't know to this day that I came from Marvel, but that proper placement, I put myself on the screen and make it matter. I play that way in Street Fighter as well, and I learned that from Marvel. So I have to owe it to Marvel for my fighting game skills. I wanted this entrance to be done for Marvel and the Marvel community, so I invited them over. It's like, yo, you want to get in on my entrance? Multiple people said, yeah, they were all about it. I had so many people: Justin Wong, NYChrisG, Noah Brown. Apology Man was holding the When's Marvel sign, and I had someone like Wave-chan from Marvel Infinite community was able to make it for me. Nemo was also part of that entrance as well. So many names, so many big names from the Marvel scene were part of it, so I was thankful.
Yeah, it's the Marvel scene. All about them.
Capcom presents.
How appropriate.
Before 2019, like I would enter tournaments here and there, and I went to LCQ for 2018, and I fought Ryusei and I beat him 2-0. But you know, not more people heard of Ryusei because he got better and better since 2018. So most people would bet against me because they barely heard about me in the Street Fighter scene. But in the back of my mind, it's like, I know what I could do to beat Ryusei, bro. Like, I know what I could do because I've done it before. Yeah, so I remember when I was playing him at first, I know he was very movement heavy, where the knees that Urian has, or he likes to abuse the dash, because checking Yuri's dash is really hard to do. And I told myself that he's gonna do it, but I didn't really tell myself when he was gonna do it, because you gotta know when, right? You gotta know the timings of the players to take advantage. And I was just wrong on when he was gonna do it almost every time the first 2 games. He got that amazing 2-0 lead.
Oh, wait, I was on a critical there. Did it?
Oh,
Bro! No, it wasn't a bro!
It wasn't, it was a
had
jab.
to be!
As the set progressed, I was picking it up. I was like, when he's cornered, he's gonna do the knee, so I gotta get ready for a heavy mixer, and I did. Or when he's at this range on the screen, he's gonna dash in, and I'll check it, and I did. With like crouch leg kick, I checked it to kill him. I think it was more like I had the gameplay already, yes, but I don't think it was as solidified until the set progressed, from being down 0-2 to then bringing it to 2-2 and then winning the set in general.
I think he's done it, Logan! USA, baby! USA, let's go! Let's go! USA! USA! USA!
Something I would like regarding this top 8 was like, I was the only American player actually. I was the only non-Japanese player as a matter of fact, so like nowhere else in the world but Japan, and then me as the only American was in top 8. I proved a lot to myself, like I said, and they were there supporting. They saw the growth since I really dedicated myself to Street Fighter, and it showed. So it was great.
Damn, son! Well, what took you so long, Kev? Well worth the wait.
Yeah, somebody said I guess he found his happy medicine, so now Daigo is ready.
The LCQ had only top 4 make it for EWC, the main event. So you had to make top 4. Well, first off, actually, before even that event, I was traveling all around the world. I was with Fury Esports at the time, and they sent me so many places to qualify, which I barely failed so many times. Like a DreamHack Sweden, I got 13th. You need a top 8 to qualify for EWC. DreamHack Dallas, you need a top 8. I got 9th. So many barely missed opportunities. And I kept going and going to so many events. So many like 16-hour trips, almost 24-hour trips, like flights I had to do almost every weekend. So like I couldn't be home for that long to practice. I had to keep going to another event. So it got really tiresome. When I got sent to losers, I kind of got sent to losers relatively quick. I lost to Viva Team. I was kind of under the mindset, I was like, you know what, whatever happens, happens. And I'll just play my game. I'm not gonna be too mad because I came this far, and what can I do? The way the bracket path for me when I played Shudo and I beat him, I was like, damn, that's a sick win, but you know, I still got so many wins for me to qualify, so it is what it is. Then I beat Momochi and I was like, I'm actually getting kind of close. And then I beat Kobayan and I popped off like crazy. Which is actually funny the way that pop-off went, because they separated the audience from the players. You had to go up to a certain stage and nobody could really watch. So there was no audience for my match or anything. So when I popped off, I just popped off alone. Like nobody else was around to see the match or see me pop off, but I still had so much energy that I came down from the stage, and my pop-ups would be weird sometimes. I don't know, I just have to like walk it off with some high energy. So like I made like, I guess angry faces is what some of the players were looking at me. And when they saw me, they thought I lost because I looked angry. But then I remember I looked at JB and I hit my chest, and he mouthed, he was like, "You won?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then everybody popped up for me too, because I beat Kobayan though.
That's a Meet Your Event Connect. That's gonna be the first game to Dual Kevin.
Oh, Dual Kevin saying, "Oh, this is easier than I thought it was gonna be."
Yeah, so I get a good lead on Daigo, and honestly, leading up to that match, I played him like 2 times, and I had great victories against him overall. Obviously, I know he's an amazing player, but looking at our track record, it was highly in my favor. So I was like, okay, this is good. I think this is a good spot for me to qualify. And I went up 2-0. I was like, yo, okay, I still gotta finish it, but I might make it. But I think that got me a little bit complacent. So he starts bringing it back slowly but surely. And I was like, dang, I wish this was more smooth sailing. But he was making it harder on me. He got brought it back to 2-2. It's like I take my sip of water, you know, and I try to make it show I'm not nervous, even though I was nervous. So like I take the sip of water really quickly, focus, I'm good to play again. And I get the reads on him. I read his DPs when he wanted to do it, block them, get the pressure on him with level 2, get the medium overhead, and that's how I got the win, so.
Oh, no! Oh, he did it!
When I finally, at the very end, the last time I'm able to qualify for EWC, I do it. I beat Daigo, and I was like, a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. My team, Fury Esports, were expecting me to qualify, and I finally did it. I still a tournament to be played, but I can rest well qualifying for Esports World Cup throughout the months of me traveling, being drained. Played a lot of Street Fighter 6 with those few months, the highest level possible of Street Fighter 6. So, man, I was relieved, extremely relieved. It's on my list of matches that made me, because even though I was just so tired physically and mentally, I still pushed myself enough that like, you know, I could do it. I went to every event that I could to qualify, and I still did not give up. You can't take a few losses and think that's it. Like you're gonna take losses, every player does, but you really have to keep going, no matter how hard it hurts. Because it did hurt me. It did hurt me. It hurt my confidence as a player. It's like, yo, can I really do it? Mid-tournament, I would think that like, yo, can I really do this? Like, I don't know if I got the skills right now. And I was able to pull it off. Like, it took all this long, but it was worth the qualification. It was worth the time to actually get this win on this great match that I remember.
It's going to be Rosinante coming in with Lord Bison as the pick against Rashid. So
this is an interesting tournament for me. People ask like, yo, why is Dual Kevin unsponsored? Why is he not on a team? Which is a good question. Almost weekly, I kept getting up by a big team, and I just had to decline because we haven't agreed on terms, because honestly, I feel like I was getting lowballed. I don't think they were offering what I would expect. But it killed my confidence as a player. Like, I was just thinking like, man, these offers that they are giving me, which are all similar, like, maybe I do deserve it. Maybe I should lower my standards as a player. I spoke to a few friends about it, and they're like, nah, like, no, you were. Like, you did this and that. And it's like, I mean, I guess. I still practice for Combo Breaker and everything. It was an EWC qualifier for top two placements for the EWC, which is what a lot of teams look for, right? So that's why they're hitting me up. They expect me to qualify.
Stand fierce after this if you want it. Level 1? Yeah, I get it. Done. It's a nightmare right now for Dual Kevin. DCQ with the quickness.
I played DCQ, I believe once, maybe twice before, and I had a great history against him. I just had set strategies when I beat him in the past, and they worked out plenty of times, which I didn't really follow through with actually in the first game of our Combo Breaker set. But the set strategy works before, and I had to stick to it. I didn't go through with it in the first game. Then I reminded myself, oh, I'm supposed to do this one if I know he's gonna press stand jab, or I'm gonna do this if I know he's gonna try to drive rush on me.
Barraging again. Yo!
Really?
He delayed that jab and got a counter hit against DCQ. I couldn't even tell you what normal DCQ decided to press.
People say that Rashid has a slight disadvantage against Bison, and I kind of agree, but I feel like I've lagged so much that I can make it feel like it's even. There was a time where when it was 1-1 that he was considering going to JP. You could see that he was highlighting JP in the character select at some point. Eventually goes to Bison. All right, let me stick to my game plan still. His like drive rush timings were pretty similar in how I checked it before. So even though I had a huge life deficit, I was able to pop a good level 2, get some damage on him. And then it came down to 1 hit each. I was like, this drive rush is most likely still gonna come through because it's a dire situation. I play close, because if you play close, it makes it easier to check the drive rush. You choose the drive rush, jab, low forward, drive rush cancel, dead.
Oh my God! He reacted to the drive rush appropriately. We talk about active defense. That's that boy, Dual Kevin. He's definitely got those. What an interruption.
Yeah, I was walking up pretty far. I stopped right before the escalator near the hotel lobby. Because I was like, oh man, all right, I walked long enough. I just sat on the couch. There was like a couch on the side, and I was like, all right, I walked long enough. Let me get a break. Let me just sit back and relax. Let me take in this win. Let me take in this top 8 placement. And then I was like, oh, I gotta get my controller. I was like, I gotta get my wallet. I gotta get my keys. I drove there because it's Chicago. I can easily drive, right? So I was like, oh, I gotta get all my stuff. And it's like, all right. People were standing up and clapping for me as I was walking back because it's just, you know, everybody watched the whole match and the whole pop-off, and it was a great match overall, especially for me, of course. I didn't know it at the time, but that actually is the match that made me qualify for EWC. Due to the way the system works, some people who were top 8 already were qualified for EWC, you know, all that. Me not knowing at the time still, I was like, oh, I'm that much closer to qualify for EWC. Forget what I thought, all those low confidence thoughts I had in the past about myself. Nah, I am worth what I think I am worth as a player. I think that's what drives my fire as a competitive player, and like why I want to do this. I constantly prove to myself what I can do if I really dedicate myself to it. So this top 8, this match specifically, to get that top 8, I said nah to all those thoughts I had in the past. I could still do this, and I did. This match really showed me I could still do this years down the line, as I've been competing for 10 plus years already. I can still do this if I really put my time and effort into it.
Dual Kevin moving on in the bracket over DCQ.
He's out of here, baby.
Good, bro, you got more to play. Come back.